What's up, everybody? It's Joe with Joseph Blake Photography. I was just in the middle of editing some video and some photos from a recent trip to Sequoia National Park, Kings Canyon National Park, when Canon came out with this announcement. I think we've got to talk about this software update. So just a little bit of background, when the pandemic hit, when COVID hit in the spring, early 2020, a lot of companies had to pivot some of their technology and some of their, production lines to be more work from home focused. Laptops were getting sold like crazy. People needed to get their internet updated at home. And you needed different equipment to work from home. And so there was a lot that people were doing that kind of changed their behaviors. And with work from home, we all had a change in our day-to-day lives. One of the things that a lot of people needed were webcams. And I don't know about you, but I was trying to buy webcams for the company that I worked for at the time because we had a lot of employees who were working from home, and it was incredibly difficult to source webcams. And so a lot of people had rigged up different technologies and different methodologies to be able to get their DSLRs, their mirrorless cameras, to be able to work as webcams so that they could work from home to give themselves both the best quality picture, but also it was a camera in many cases that they already had, whereas they weren't able to buy a webcam if they weren't already using one at home or had one at the office that they could go in and me personally, I was using an HDMI to USB 3.0 like streaming box adapter. That was not a great solution. And so a lot of companies, GoPro, Sony, and Canon came out with the EOS Webcam Utility. It came out in beta. It was definitely okay, let's throw something out there and see if this helps. Now, there were pros and cons to this. The con, specifically, was that the existing kind of frameworks that are built into the Canon cameras to be able to use their Canon capture utility, to be able to use the Canon software that normally you would use to shoot tethered, where you would be able to see the preview from your viewfinder. It was good though. It was better than nothing, and it allowed us to use our cameras in ways that we hadn't before to be able to meet a need as the whole world was being turned upside down and work was suddenly being done from home. So this was a sudden change in the need and the market that Canon could address with their cameras, and I applaud them for trying to get this out and get it going. Where that praise ends is that this particular software wasn't very good. It came out initially in beta, and it was understandable that it would be buggy. It didn't work great. I have since switched from an Intel MacBook Pro to an M1 Max MacBook Pro. I can tell you that when I first switched to the Apple Silicon MacBook, there was very little support. It didn't work. And I know that there are just pages and pages of forum posts, both on Apple and Canon and other various photo sites that had similar trouble. So eventually they did release an update that was more supportive of the Apple Silicon, the M1 Max, and it did work better. And I did get it to work for a while. I think when Mac OS 12 came out, it stopped working again. Other subsequent updates had to come out. Now we're at Mac OS 13, we're in Ventura, and it doesn't work again. And I don't know that it's really worked well for a while. At least for me with a Canon R6 and a Canon EOS R. It just hasn't been something that has worked exceptionally well, at least for me. Now, there are a handful of additional tools out there that you can use. I'm using one on a day-to-day basis to be able to make it work, and it works great for me. It's consistent, and it just runs for me. I will do another video if you guys want. Go ahead and let me know down in the comments about how I set up my streaming setup. So if that's where we were yesterday, I was really kind of surprised to see this announcement from Canon, which was that they are announcing an updated version. Now, this is version 2 that they've released. This they're calling it EOS Webcam Utility PRO for Windows and Mac. And the features that they're touting sound a lot like the features of the original Webcam Utility, which is a Pro version. that turns your compatible EOS camera into a high quality webcam using only a USB cable. Works with more of your favorite streaming apps, compatible with Windows 10 and Windows 11. I don't know for Windows users, let me know if the original plugin wasn't working for Windows 11. I know it worked on Windows 10. I did use it on Windows 10. It says that it's compatible with Mac OS 12, 11, 10, and Apple Silicon Macs. Now compatible with over 40 Canon cameras, so they've added some cameras. Lets you record internally while streaming. I think that's new. I don't think the original plugin let you do that. And you can enjoy free webcam use and subscribe to unlock all the features. So this is a software update. They're updating to version 2. And with it, they're adding additional, for example, compatibility with more cameras and with more streaming apps. So right now, it says it's compatible with WebEx, Facebook Messenger, Streamlabs, YouTube Live, Microsoft Teams, and Discord, Facebook Live, OBS, Zoom, Twitch, Skype, Google Meet, and Slack. Looks like it supports pretty much every modern camera, all the M series cameras, M50, M50 Mark II, the M6, the M200, all the way back to the 70D, the 60 Mark II, the 60 Mark I. Although some of these cameras don't offer the wireless feature, all of these should feature or should be compatible with the wired versions. The 5DS, the 5D Mark III, they're really going way back. So the Rebel T5. So a lot of cameras are on this list, but to enjoy all of the features, you have to subscribe. So let's take a look and see what the features are with a subscription. Okay, so custom scenes, multiple camera connections up to 5, one wireless connection. So I'm assuming the wireless connection is only available via the subscription service, and stream to multiple channels, UVC input support, including capture cards, being able to control the camera from the user interface of the software. Right away, saying that it has multiple scenes or custom scenes and multiple camera connections makes me immediately think of OBS. This feels a lot like they've created their own version of OBS and they've baked their webcam software into it, and they're allowing for additional features through the addition of this kind of OBS style software. So open scene layout editing, scenes, image adjustment. So HD 720 support and full HD support through digital upscale. The ability to flip and rotate and resize, crop video input, watermarks, crossfading between scenes, hotkey settings, and window capture. All things that you can do for free using Open Broadcast, using OBS. I love OBS. Honestly, just seems to be available through OBS. So really what you're paying for is the ability to use the wireless connection to be able to, and to control the camera from the software. All right, so multiple camera, I can do that from OBS. It says stream up to 1080, but we know that that's not real. It says it can shoot at 60 FPS as an option, as an output option. I'd be really curious to see if the camera is actually going to output 60 FPS. That would be really interesting because I don't think the cameras are really capable of doing that. But if they are, that would be one other feature that you would get: the ability to shoot at 60 FPS, the wireless connection, and the ability to control the camera. Though there are other software options that you can control the camera with. So that's not necessarily something that you can only get through the Canon. And there is a 30-day free trial for the subscription side, and it is $5 a month. It's $4.99 per month, or you can pre-purchase an annual subscription for $49.99. All right, so that's the walkthrough for all the features of the Canon EOS Webcam Utility 2.0 or Webcam Utility Pro update that they just came out with the subscription option. My thoughts on the features here and my thoughts on subscription services in general. I don't believe that for the cost, even if you just looked at this over a 1-year period, the $49 or the $60 if you paid for it month by month for the year, I don't believe that $60 is worth the wireless connection unless you're in a very particular situation. For people who are doing YouTube Live, who are doing meetings, and who are doing, Twitch streamers, gaming streamers, who are doing a lot of that or streaming on TikTok, I don't believe that the wireless capability is that important. Primarily because, again, unless you're demonstrating something specific and you need to be able to move that camera around, really the cable is not really a big deal. The R5, the R6, the R, the RP. Those wireless radios are terrible. They go like 5 feet and then you lose connection. You lose your ability to control the camera or see what's going on. And then the rest of this is all available through OBS, through free software. You can do multiple connections, you can do multiple cameras, you can do multiple scenes, multiple outputs, and it supports almost everything using the OBS virtual camera. I haven't really run into any pieces of software that won't accept the OBS virtual camera. And OBS will take the 720p stream and upscale it to 1080, so I don't know why you would want or need the 1080 upscale that comes with this software. So the wireless connection, maybe, and the 60 FPS, maybe? Though I would love to see that in action, and I would love to see which cameras support it. There's nothing on this list that shows me which cameras support which features, except for the wireless, but it doesn't say anything about 60 frames per second. So now let's talk about subscription services as a whole. I know a lot of people in the photography community dislike subscription services, especially when we're talking about software that we are using and spending a lot of money on. Personally, I think subscription services can really have a place. I'm glad that we're not buying Photoshop for hundreds of dollars every year or every release in order to get one feature or to get one update, or waiting for long periods of time to get these huge bundles of updates. That through a subscription service, we're getting updates, right? We're getting small updates, big updates all the time, and that they are improving the service and improving the software as they go. And it's not on a particular cadence that I need to worry about, and I don't have to spend any extra money when those features are released, if there's a feature that's like, oh, that's amazing. Now, if the value is not there for you, if you're not finding value in those updates, Lightroom just had a huge update that was phenomenal. Photoshop keeps adding more to its neural filters. There's a lot that's going into Photoshop and Lightroom for me that is definitely makes it worth the subscription service. The question is, are those things bringing value to you? And if they're not, then subscriptions don't really make any sense. This is not that. This is not something where, oh, we're going to be getting features and updates over time. There's some, there's not online storage. There's not an online presence. They're not helping you get onto these platforms or making your presence on these platforms any better. They're literally just charging you to get access to things that your camera can already do for free. Your camera can already do every single thing on this list except broadcast its signal wirelessly, even though technically it can. There's no back-end cost to them. There's no server space or rack space or compute power that you are having to help pay for. There's no burden on Canon's side that you're having to help subsidize. There's no value here. They're not plugging you into Twitch. They're not plugging you into YouTube through some special feed or feature, intermediating anything. From what I can tell, other than the download of the file itself, which already is that you're going to already have to do that if it's free. There is no cost other than developing this software, and they had already developed it and it wasn't very good. So what you're paying for is $5 a month for them to maybe make it better, not broken. The rest of it's stuff that your camera can already do. I don't like this. I don't like this at all. And unless the wireless and the ability to control the camera is something that you really need, but there's software out there that lets you do that, and it's cheaper than this. The software that I'm using to connect my camera that allows me to control the camera is half the price of 1 year of this software. So in 6 months, it's a better value. And every month after that, it continues to be a better value. I don't like this. Canon, this is a bad idea. Don't do this. And everything that they're showing in their ads, I mean, they're touting features that exist in the free version. It even looks like OBS. All right, well, that's my take. Canon made OBS, and they're going to charge you $5 a month, but they're not going to do anything for that $5 except give you access to software and features on your camera that you already have. Let me know what you think down in the comments about subscription software, about this choice by Canon, and how has the EOS Webcam Utility been working for you? Because honestly, for me, it's been absolute, utter garbage. And now they're going to ask you to pay $5 a month for it. I'll see you in the next one.